Later today, we will be discussing psychological theories, but right now, I want to get into how psychological theories are utilized to solve real world problems. So, when it comes to psychological theories, they were once confined to academia, and now we use them to shape our everyday lives. Transforming abstract concepts into powerful tools for solving world problems. Now, this is a remarkable shift, and it's revolutionized how we approach challenges in various aspects of life, from our personal growth to even professional development. Now, the journey from abstract theory to practical application has been a pretty fascinating one, and it's been marked by breakthroughs, some setbacks, and some aha moments. All right. So, I want you to imagine a world where the insights of brilliant minds like Freud, Jung, and Skinner remain locked away somewhere. Okay. They're never to see the light of day beyond university lecture halls. Now, see, we don't live in that reality. Today, pragmatic psychology has become an integral part of our lives, often in ways, if you don't have to think about it, if you're not studying it, you may not realize it. So, when we talk about practical psychology, what is that and why should we care about it? So, practical psychology is the application of psychological theories and principles to solve real world problems. It's bridging the gap between that ivory tower of academia and the fairly messy, complicated world that we all inhabit. So it's about taking, dense, jargon-filled research papers and distilling them into actionable strategies that can help all of us live better lives, work smarter, and hopefully relate to one another more effectively. So, when we talk about psychological theories, the importance of applying these to real world situations, it really can't be overstated. So it's one of those things to understand how the human mind works in theory, but it's really another thing entirely to use the knowledge to make a tangible difference in someone's life, right? So whether we are helping someone overcome a debilitating phobia, improving team dynamics in the workplace, or even designing products that people actually want to use, practical psychology has the power to create positive change on both sides, individual and societal levels. So, the evolution of psychology from like a pure theory state to an applied practice was gradual yet transformative. So in the early days of the field, we had pioneers like Wilhelm Wundt and William James. Their primary concern was with understanding the fundamental workings of the human mind. Those two laid the groundwork for future generations of psychologists who would begin to explore how these insights could be applied to real world problems. Now, we see things changing in the 20th century. We see so much progress. And so in the 20th century, that's when psychology began to branch out into various specialized fields, each with its own focus on practical applications. And so I like to explain psychology almost like a toolbox. So let me give you an analogy. So imagine you are a handyman walking into a massive toolbox. So inside there are all sorts of tools, each designed for a specific job. Psychology works that way. It's a broad field with different specialties, each focused on understanding human behavior from its own unique perspective. So in clinical psychology emerged as a way to treat mental health disorders, while industrial organizational psychology That area sought to improve workplace efficiency and employee satisfaction. And then you have educational psychology, which was focused on enhancing learning environments, and sports psychology. That's an area that's kind of pretty popular, and that area was just aimed to boost athletic performance. So this diversification of the field has led to an explosion of practical applications, each drawing on different psychological theories and principles to address specific real world challenges. So, today we are going to dive into some of these areas and explore how psychological insights are being put to work in the real world. So, in the area of clinical and counseling psychology, this is the area that is all about healing the mind and relationships. So, perhaps the most well known application of psychology in everyday life is in the realm of mental health treatment. And clinical and counseling psychology have revolutionized the way we approach mental health disorders. It offers hope and healing to millions of people worldwide. And so, one of the most powerful tools that has emerged from this field is cognitive behavioral therapy, otherwise known as CBT. Now, this approach focuses on identifying and changing negative thought patterns and behaviors, and it has proven incredibly effective in treating a wide range of mental health issues, specifically anxiety and things like depression and even substance use disorder. CBT, it's a prime example of how psychological theory can be translated into practical life-changing interventions. And it's not just individual therapy that's making the difference. Things like family therapy, which is drawing on systemic theories of psychology, has helped countless people, has helped countless families improve their relationships and communication. By viewing the family as an interconnected system rather than a collection of individuals, family therapists can help address deep seated issues and patterns that may have persisted for generations, really. And then of course, we see CBT being utilized in addiction treatment and recovery programs. We know firsthand that these type of programs heavily rely on psychological principles. So from understanding the neurochemistry of addiction to implementing behavioral interventions, and support groups, psychology plays a crucial role in helping individuals overcome substance abuse and definitely maintaining their long-term recovery. I do want to move on to organizational and industrial psychology. And this is the area that helps to boost workplace performance. And so, in the world of business, applied psychology programs have become invaluable tools for improving workplace productivity and satisfaction. So, we have organizational psychologists using their understanding of human behavior to design more effective work environments. They're also developing better leadership strategies, and they're helping to improve employee motivation and engagement. And that's important because, of course, the companies want the people to want to work. And so one area where psychology has made a significant impact is in employee selection and assessment techniques. So what they're doing is applying psychological principles to the hiring process. And in doing that, companies can better predict job performance, whether or not the person is fit. And this helps them lead to more successful hires and hopefully reduce the turnover. Okay. And so usually depending on the type of company, it could involve like a personality assessment, structured interviews, that's what we see most, or situational judgment test. And you may see that. Usually they send stuff like that via email. You have to take the test before they'll even call you. And things like that, that's all grounded in psychological research. Leadership development when it comes to employment and work environments, that's also another crucial area where psychology is making waves in the business world. So, by understanding the psychological factors that contribute to effective leadership, organizations they can develop training programs that help managers and executives become more inspiring, empathetic, and to help them become influential leaders. Also in the workplace, we see things like conflict resolution in professional settings. And that's yet another domain where psychological insights prove to be invaluable. If we are applying principles of social psychology and communication theory, workplace mediators can help resolve disputes, help to improve team dynamics, and create a more harmonious work environment. All right, and then there's the area of educational psychology. In this area, the aim is to nurture minds and to foster learning. So, in education, psychological theories have transformed our understanding of how people learn, okay, and how we can create more effective teaching methods, and that is important. So, educational psychologists, they work to enhance learning environments, address learning disabilities, and they develop strategies to help students of all ages succeed when it comes to academically. And so, one of the most significant contributions of educational psychology has been in addressing learning disabilities and special needs. By understanding the cognitive and emotional factors that contribute to learning disabilities, psychologists have they've been developing interventions that can help students with conditions like dyslexia, ADHD, or autism spectrum disorders. They've developed these interventions to help them thrive in educational settings. And so the development of effective study techniques is another area of psychology that's made a significant impact by understanding how the memory works. When you are understanding how the memory works and how information is processed, psychologists, they've developed strategies like spaced repetition, active recall, and elaborative rehearsal that can dramatically improve learning outcomes. Another thing that's applied is positive behavioral interventions in school based on principle of behavioral psychology, and those have been proven effective in creating more supportive and productive learning environments. So by focusing on reinforcing positive behaviors rather than punishing negative ones, these approach can lead to improved student behavior, reduced disciplinary issues, and a positive school climate overall. So, wrapping it up, we see it in we're seeing psychology being used in education. We're seeing psychology being used in the organizational and industrial psychology, like workplace and clinical psychology and counseling. And so the next thing is going to be sports psychology. This is helping them to unleash peak performance. So, in the world of sports, psychology has become an indispensable tool for athletes looking to gain a competitive edge. So, sports psychologists, they work with athletes to improve their mental game, helping them overcome performance anxiety, helping them to enhance their focus and concentration, and develop resilience, the resilience they need to bounce back from setbacks. So in sports psychology, they use things like mental training techniques, and some of these techniques you also see in the counseling setting. So they use things like visualization and mindfulness. Those things have become staples when it comes to an athlete's routine. These practices, they're grounded in cognitive and neuropsychological research, and they can help athletes improve their performance by enhancing their mental preparedness and their focus. And so, managing performance anxiety and stress is another crucial area where sports psychology makes an impact. So, in managing performance, anxiety, and stress. When we're teaching athletes these techniques for relaxation, cognitive restructuring, arousal regulation, sports psychologists can help competitors perform at their best and even under intense pressures. Another area for sports psychology that is aided would be team building and group dynamics. That is where many psychological principles come into play. So, by applying theories of social psychology and group behavior, sports psychologists they help teams develop better communication, cohesion, and collective efficacy. All crucial factors, of course, in team success. The next area would be consumer and marketing psychology. And this is the area that influences or it aims to influences choices and behavior. I love this area of psychology. So, in a world of marketing and consumer behavior, psychological insights have become powerful tools for influencing decision making and shaping consumer preferences. While this application of psychology, yes, it can be controversial when used ethically, it can it can lead to products and services that better meet consumer needs and improve overall user experience. And I want you to think about also why it can be controversial. Anyway, moving on. So, operationalization in psychology has allowed marketers to transform abstract concepts like brand loyalty or consumer satisfaction into measurable variables. This has led to more precise and effective marketing strategies, as well as improved methods for assessing the impact of advertising campaigns. Designing effective advertising campaigns is also an art form that draws heavily on psychological principles. By understanding how people process information, how they form attitudes and make decisions, advertisers can create more compelling and persuasive messages. This might involve using principles of social proof, scarcity, emotional appeal, all grounded in psychological research. Improving user experience is also another area in product design where psychology plays a crucial role. By understanding human cognition, perception, and behavior, designers can create products that are more intuitive, satisfying, and effective to use. This application of psychology can be seen in everything from like the layout of your smartphone to the design of car dashboards. However, it's crucial to note that the application of psychology in marketing and consumer behavior, it has always raised important ethical considerations. While psychological insights can be used to create products and services that genuinely improve people's lives, they can also be used manipulatively or to promote harmful products. As such, it's essential for practitioners in this field, of course, to adhere to strict ethical guidelines and, of course, prioritize consumer well being. And so we've covered consumer and marketing, sports, educational, organizational, and clinical. So let's get into the future of practical psychology. So looking forward, it's clear that practical applications of psychology will continue to evolve and expand. That's what we want. Emerging fields like positive psychology focus on enhancing well-being rather than just treating disorders. Those type of fields are opening up new avenues for applying psychological insights to everyday life. The integration of psychology with other disciplines, that's also leading to new and exciting developments. For example, the field of neuroeconomics. That field combines insights from psychology, neuroscience, and economics to better understand decision-making processes. And then similarly, you have environmental psychology, which is the aim is to gain importance as we grapple with issues of sustainability and climate change. Technology is another frontier that psychology is making significant traction, from the design of AI interfaces, that's definitely popular, to the development of virtual reality in therapy. Psychological principles are shaping the way we interact with and benefit from technology. So, as we continue to face these global challenges, they're so complex, from things like mental health crises to political polarization to climate change. There's always going to be the need for practical, psychologically informed solutions. There's always going to be that need more than ever. And so hopefully what we hopefully see the field doing is continuing to bridge the gap between theory and practice. Applied psychology has the potential to make a profound impact on individuals, community, and psychology as a whole. All right, so it's just reflect and think of everything that I've said about the journey of psychology from being an abstract theory to a practical application, and how it's been transformed from this purely academic pursuit into a powerful tool for solving real world problems. So if you want to reflect in how psychology applies to you, you can put yourself under that umbrella of psychology or put yourself in that toolbox. Think about your own mental health and whatever clinical aids you use. Think about your workplace, or think about what goes on when you go to interviews. Think about your education when you were in school, or even if you are in school now. Think about what's going on when you're watching sports, when you're looking at your favorite team. One of the things that may be the easiest to think about is falls under the category of like consumer marketing, things like that. I want you to think about how specific colors make you hungry. And this has been a long study, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get into all the colors, but I'm going to try, because have you ever wondered why so many fast food restaurants use red, yellow in their logos? And that's what's crazy, because maybe you haven't noticed it, but the fact that they're using those colors, it is not a coincidence. It is psychology at work. So, red, yellow, and orange are the appetite stimulating colors. Red is bold, it's attention grabbing, and psychologically linked to excitement and hunger. It increases the heart rate and it makes food look more appealing. So that's why we see McDonald's, KFC, and Wendy's using it heavily. Yellow is the bright, cheerful color. Yellow creates a sense of happiness and urgency. So when combined with red, like McDonald's or In-N-Out Burger, it signals your brain to get the food fast. Okay. And then there's orange, a mix of red's energy and yellow's warmth. Orange also stimulates appetite. Orange creates a friendly, inviting vibe that just makes people feel comfortable ordering their food. So blue, green, brown, and black are considered to be the sophisticated and relaxing colors. Blue is rare in natural foods, so it's not used much in restaurant marketing. However, some upscale restaurants like to use soft blues to create a calming effect, but not too much blue because it can actually reduce one's appetite. And then green, this is easy. Green is often used by health conscious restaurants because green represents freshness and natural ingredients and sustainability. So, of course, think of Panera or Whole Foods. Green is telling your brain that this food is fresh and this food is good for you. And then brown. It's an earthy tone, so it's giving warmth, comfort, and just overall wholesomeness. So when we think of brown, we're thinking of coffee shops, something like a Starbucks or bakeries. They like to use brown to make their food feel homemade and kind of cozy. And so, what was the other color? Black. Black is used in luxury dining. Black is it, okay? Black conveys elegance, sophistication, and exclusivity. So usually we see a lot of black in high-end restaurants, okay? They'll have black menus, the plates, the decor, all sleek and chic. And that allows the food to feel more premium quality. Mwah. All right? And so when we're thinking about black, brown, green, blue, orange, yellow, red, all of these colors are used specifically. They have been studied because restaurants need to control your experience, okay? Fast food restaurants, that's where we're seeing the red, yellow, and orange, okay? They want to get you in. They will definitely want to make you hungry, but they want to get you out, okay? And then, so the casual and fine dining, the places with the greens, the browns, the warm tones, they want to make you feel welcome and kind of encourage you to stay just a tad bit longer. But the dark colors, the gold accents, the black, that's the fine dining. And their aim is to create a sense of luxury and high class dining. So what I want you to do, because we are talking about, recognizing how to use or see psychology applied in regular life, the next time you choose a restaurant, I want you to take a look at its colors. They might just be influencing what you eat and how much you eat.